Hello, gamers, and welcome to officially day 4 in this conquest. We have almost completely finished with Austria here. We have a little bit left. I see there's actually a little Austrian guy. He's moving around. We may have to bring in some planes or something and hit him with that. In fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. We have a couple of attack fighters that will be ready in a few hours. So we're then going to have 4 planes. That is not quite enough. We're also working on building some artillery. We have some of that about to come online. But right now we're just taking over a little NPC. That won't be difficult. And after that, I think we're going to go after France. And France has not been having an easy time of it. I haven't yet decided if we're going after France or if we're going to go south and get Italy. Either one should be fairly easy. They've been fighting each other, which is usually a good sign that it's going to be an easier takeover. So we're going to be visiting one of those places. Maybe Italy. The cities are a little bit closer together. I like cities that are close together. Get more points in a shorter period of time and more resources in a shorter period of time. Anyway, we're going to be doing one of those things. Nothing too exciting happening at the moment. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, someone made a comment on the previous video that anything can happen in this game, and you can be ahead and doing well, and somebody can do something that surprises you, and that is true. But I want to talk about the 2 things that are most likely to happen to you. Now, yesterday I said I thought we were going to make it to the number 1 position. It turns out we actually made it to the number 2 position, which is surprising because we have so many more cities than the number 1 position. But we still have 2 victory points less, so we're still doing pretty well. If you sort it by cities, we're right up at the top. Sorted by victory points, we're second from the top. We will soon be at the top. All we have to do is keep picking up cities and territory. We're probably at the top anyway, if it were calculated right now. But when you get to that spot, it kind of paints a target on your back. So a couple of things you're going to want to keep in mind is you do want to be in that spot. You want to be in that spot as early as you can, and you want to put as much distance between yourself and your competitors as you can early on. And one thing that means is you want to be conquering cities every day. If possible, sometimes that may not happen, but if possible, you want to be taking new cities every day. Now, as you're doing that, as you're getting into the lead position, it paints a target on your back. And so the other players, the 2 things you're most likely to run into that will cause you problems as you're playing this game, especially once you get into a high position, is you will have people buy stuff to beat you. You'll be in wars where you're way ahead, you're doing really well, and suddenly your opponent will have loads of new troops, and they will be exactly the kind they need to beat you, and you're going to have to change your strategy midstream or lose because they have exactly what they need to deal with what you're doing. And the other is dogpiling. And this has actually happened to me a bunch of times. I've been ahead, it's gotten close to the end of the game, and then I will have multiple coalitions declare on me at the same time. And I just have troops coming from all directions and planes coming from all directions and whatever. And, eventually you get swamped, especially if you're not a pay player. Now, you can even have a combination of those things. You can have coalitions of people who are pay players attacking you, and you're not a pay player. So sometimes you're going to be taken out of that position, and yes, this is often a pay-to-win game. See, I have some extra gold there from the one I just won, which is kind of nice. Not using it in this game, but I do have some gold there from the one I just won. But you can get a lot more gold than that by just forking out some money. So, you may be in a great position and you may be way ahead, and then somebody comes along with $100, and there's no way you can beat that. But at the same time, you can still win, you can still do well, and even if you're taken out by dog-piling pay players, you can still have a lot of fun with it in the meantime. And I think there are like 4 kinds of players in this game right now. I started this a couple of years ago, and I didn't play for, a long time because, and I'll tell you in a minute, it was because of how things were with pay players at the time. But when I started a couple of years ago, it seemed like the skill level was actually a lot higher than it is now, which is weird. It's weird that the skill level in a game would go down as time goes by. But I think that's because a lot of people who want to play with skill get really frustrated that you can have all the skill and all the strategy you want and then somebody else buys victory. That is extremely frustrating. And to me, it was actually worse when a game would first start. So sometimes I would be in a war with somebody and I would be winning and they would get desperate. And, I understand that. You've been playing the game for a month and you've built up, what you think of as your empire and you have a lot of troops, and then somebody comes along and starts taking it all away. You get desperate and you think, okay, I'm going to spend some money to try to fix this. Sometimes you win against those people anyway, and sometimes you don't. But my last game before my break of like a couple of years, the game had just started. I think either I was still researching Strike Fighters or I had made my first one. I'm not sure. Either I'd made my first Strike Fighter or I was still researching Strike Fighters, and I was attacked by somebody who came in with full wings of Strike Fighters and tanks and attack helicopters and armored fighting vehicles, and it was like, not only was it clear, not only was it clear that they had paid some money, but it was clear that they'd paid a lot of money, and it was absurd how much they had at the start of a game. This is stuff they should have had, a month in, not 3 or 4 days in, but that's what they had. And it was like, man, I'm just gonna say heck with it at this point. But I decided to come back. And I think one group, a very small group of players, are the ones who just kind of accept that sometimes you're going to lose because somebody buys a win. But they enjoy the game enough. There's a lot of breadth to the game. There's a lot of depth to the game. There's a lot of stuff you can do. So, that is worth it, even though there's all this other garbage with people being able to just buy a victory. Then there are people who are new, and I think that's a big proportion. Looking at the list of players in the games that I've played recently, there are a lot of new people. So people come in not knowing that it's entirely pay to play, and they get wiped out every time. Unless you have a really good strategy, it is definitely pay to play. Or pay to win. You can win with a really good strategy, but if you just have a standard strategy and you come up against somebody who's paying money, you are going to lose. So that can be frustrating, and they quit. So you have a lot of new players. You have players who are looking to be in strong coalitions, typically with pay players. So you can benefit from the money they're spending and still get a win. And then you have the very rare ones who actually just know what they're doing and are just trying using strategy. So by making this video and some upcoming videos, we're gonna try to do some fun things with this game. Maybe recreate the Roman Empire or something. Who knows? But by doing those things, I'm hoping to encourage some people who want to win by strategy. I'm hoping to improve the experience of playing the game by having some better players come in. So it's not, you're facing either people who don't know what they're doing, people who are looking at you as an easy solution, or people who are going to pay to kick your keister. All right. So that is the end of what I wanted to say. And then I have a special guest that I wanted to ask a question of. So, what is the most fun part of this game?
Shooting a missile.
Shooting a missile? What kind of missile? Are the nuclear missiles the best?
Yeah.
And what's so fun about those?
Mushroom clouds.
Yeah, it's the mushroom clouds, isn't it? All right, thanks, sweetie. So that is our video for this time. Come back, because there will be more wars. There will be more exciting stuff rather than just me talking. Yeah, so thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Comment, and it's nice to hear from you. All right, until next time.